The next morning, Adamasa buzzed like a disturbed beehive. People whispered endlessly about Kojo helping Frema during the festival storm. The landlord's son held her like she was his wife, the market women gossiped. So he's still tied to that orange girl, others exclaimed. Na was furious. She confronted Kojo outside his family house. Kojo, explain to me why you ran to her and not me yesterday. Kojo rubbed his forehead. Nah, the storm caught everyone off guard. I only helped. Don't dare lie, she snapped. You looked at her like she is the air you breathe. Kojo didn't answer. Silence was its own confession. From her window, Frema watched Na storm away. Her chest tightened. She didn't want to compete with anyone, especially not with a woman who had everything didn't. That evening, Frema went back to the river and prayed for clarity. She told the water, if this love will drown me, let me walk away now. But as the wind blew softly against her skin, she felt something deeper. Love wasn't done with her yet. Madame Asore decided she was done with whispers. She summoned Frema to her compound under the pretense of talking like women. Came, polite and humble, even though her legs trembled. Sit, Madame Asore commanded, not offering a stool. Frema stood instead. My son loves you, the woman said coldly. And that is the problem.
Ama lovuret her reis.
You are poor. You are ordinary. You are not fit to marry into this family.
Ama stroat tiktenet.
Madame Asore leaned forward. Leave Kojo. If you don't, I will make life unbearable for you and your mother. Frema felt her heart burn with a mix of humiliation and anger. I love your son, she said quietly. And that is why you must leave him, Madame Asore replied. Love cannot feed you. Love cannot protect you. Walk away now before he regrets choosing you. Frema left with tears burning in her eyes. She did not realize Madame Asore's maid had been listening, and would soon tell Kojo everything. Kojo stormed into his mother's room as soon as he heard. How could you threaten her? He demanded. Madame Asore remained calm. I am saving you from shame, she replied. You're pushing me into misery, he shot back. She is not your equal, Kojo, Madame Asore said. You're right, Kojo said sharply. She is better. His mother's eyes widened. I love Frema, Kojo continued, voice trembling. If you can't accept that, then maybe you don't know your own son. That night, Kojo went to Frema's house. She sat on the veranda, staring at the moon. Why didn't you tell me my mother came to you? He asked.
Ama vipet her tears.
Because I don't want to be the reason you fight your family. You already are, he whispered. And I don't regret it. For the first time, Frema allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, love could survive the wounds. Despite their reunion, the pressure began to show. Kojo visited Frema more often, and every visit attracted stares, whispers, and judgment. Old women shook their heads. Young girls rolled their eyes. Men joked behind Kojo's back. One afternoon at the market, a woman said loudly, Kojo left a whole na agili for dusty feet Wonders shall never end. Frema pretended not to hear, but her hands shook as she arranged oranges. When Kojo arrived later, he noticed. Don't let them get to you, he said. They shame me to hurt you, she whispered. I don't want to be your weakness. Kojo cupped her face gently. You are my strength. But even as he said it, sensed the heaviness growing in him, the silent burden of choosing her. That night, she couldn't sleep. She wondered if loving him meant watching him suffer too. Na was not the type to lose gracefully. After realizing Kojo wasn't coming back, she made one final play. She visited Frema at the riverbank, her presence sharp and intimidating. You think Kojo will marry you? Na began, arms folded. Kept silent. You think love will save you? Looked at her quietly. You're right, said softly. I think love will save both of us. Na laughed bitterly. Then you know nothing about this world. She stepped closer. You will watch him suffer. You will watch his family crumble. And when he has nothing left, he will look at you and see the reason for his downfall.
Ama stomak twisted.
Na wasn't finished. When he regrets choosing you, I'll be there waiting. With those words, she walked away, leaving Frema trembling, shaken to her core. That night, Amma wondered if stepping aside was the kinder choice, but her heart refused to let go. The next morning, Kojo made a decision that shook the entire village. He stood in front of his family house, with elders and neighbors watching, and held Frema's hand for the world to see. His voice was firm, loud, and unshakable. "This is the woman I love," Kojo announced. "And nothing, not gossip, not wealth, not status, will separate us." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Kojo has lost his mind. He is disgracing his mother. He is falling for witchcraft. Madame Asore rushed out of the house. "Kojo, stop this madness." He shook his head. "I won't." Frema squeezed his hand, her heart trembling with fear and love. She didn't want to be the cause of division, but she also couldn't deny the warmth flooding her chest. That night, the entire village debated the scandal. Some supported Kojo. Most did not. But fate had already taken its seat at the table. And decisions like his always come with a price. The Asore household changed overnight. Madame Asore refused to speak to her son. His father, usually calm and distant, grew angry and disappointed. "You will ruin this family," he said.
No, Kojo replied.
"I'm choosing my own happiness." They cut off his allowance, fired 2 workers who supported him, threatened to throw him out. But Kojo stood firm. Meanwhile, Frema faced her own battles. The market women no longer bought from her. Some refused to greet her. Others whispered insults behind her back. Her mother, Marabina, confronted her one night. "Amma," she said softly, "love should not bring this much suffering." Amma looked down. "But Ma, Kojo fights for me." Marabina touched her cheek. "And will you fight for him, even if it destroys him?" Frema swallowed a knot of fear. "I don't want to be his burden," she whispered. Her mother sighed. "Sometimes love is not about holding on. Sometimes it's about knowing when to let go." Amma cried quietly into her pillow that night. Frema stayed away. Kojo withdrew from everyone. And Adamasa split cleanly into 2 sides, those who believed Kojo was bewitched and those who believed he was simply lovesick. Rumors twisted into lies. Her mother is a witch. Amma used charms. She tied him spiritually. Every lie stabbed deeper than the last. One hot afternoon, Frema collapsed while carrying her tray of oranges. The sun was harsh, her heart was heavy, and her body finally surrendered. Villagers rushed to help her. Kojo heard the news before anyone reached his door. He ran through the village barefoot, panic tearing through him. When he reached her home, Amma lay on a mat, pale and weak. "Amma," Kojo whispered, voice breaking. She opened her eyes slowly. "You shouldn't be here," she murmured. "I will always be where you are," he replied, holding her hand tightly. At that moment, Madame Asore entered. Shock froze the room. She saw her son kneeling beside Amma, tears in his eyes. She saw Amma lying helpless, but still trying to protect him from trouble. She saw the love she had tried to destroy. And for the first time, her heart cracked. "Bring water," Madame Asore said quietly. "Let her rest." Kojo stared at his mother, confused.
Frema stared in disbelief.
Something had shifted, not enough to fix everything, but enough to change the direction of fate. Madame Asore stayed in Frema's house longer than anyone expected. She watched Amma slowly sip water, her hands trembling. The girl's mother hovered nearby, worried but respectful. For the first time, Madame Asore saw Amma not as a threat, not as poverty, but as a human being who loved her son deeply. "Why did you collapse?" Madame Asore asked. Frema looked down. Stress, heat, and heartache. Na Ajali returned to Adamasa with a new fire in her eyes. She'd heard about Amma collapsing and Kojo's devotion. It infuriated her. But instead of using insults this time, She decided to use strategy. She visited Madame Asore at dawn, dressed elegantly in a white jumpsuit, smelling of expensive perfume. "Auntie, you know I'm the best match for Kojo," she began confidently. Madame Asore looked tired. Life is not always about best matches. Sometimes it's about what the heart chooses. Na frowned. "Do you want your son to lose everything? His inheritance? His future?" Madame Asore looked away. Na placed a letter on the table. "This company in Accra is offering Kojo a big job. If he accepts, he leaves Ama Frema behind. And you know long-distance love doesn't survive." Madame Asore stared at the letter. A job in the city. A future. A clean break. Na smiled faintly. "Madam, sometimes you don't break love, you let distance kill it quietly." Madame Asore's heart twisted. She didn't want to destroy Ama. But she also didn't want her son throwing his life away. Kojo didn't know that a new storm was forming. By the time Kojo returned home, his mother had made up her mind. She sat him down and showed him the job offer. "This is a good opportunity," she said. "I'm not leaving Ama," Kojo replied instantly. "You don't have to leave her," she said gently. "But she needs to heal. And you need to build a life that can hold both of you." Kojo hesitated. He hated the idea of leaving the village. But he also felt Ama's suffering, and his own, growing heavier by the day. When he visited Ama that evening, she looked better but fragile. He held her hand. "Ama Frema, a company in Accra wants to hire me." Her eyes widened. "You should go," she said softly. Kojo shook his head. "I won't leave you." "You should," she insisted painfully. "Your life cannot pause because of me." He felt stabbed. "Ama, I love you." "And I love you too," she whispered. "Which is why I want your future to stand." Kojo's eyes filled with tears. "Will you wait for me?"
Ama similet sedli.
"Love will decide that." Her heart broke as she said the words, because she feared love might decide against her. Kojo left for Accra the next week, and the whole village watched him go. Some said, "Good riddance." Others said, "He's smart." Only Ama Frema stood behind her mother's hut, watching silently, praying he would succeed, and praying he wouldn't forget her. Accra swallowed Kojo quickly. New responsibilities. New schedules. New pressures. He called Ama often at first. "How are you?"
I'm fine.
"I miss you." "I miss you too." But as days turned into weeks, the calls became shorter. Less frequent. Sometimes, he slept before calling. Sometimes, Ama cried before picking up. She didn't want him to hear sadness in her voice. The village began whispering again. "He will find a new girl. Distance kills love." Poor Ama. Then one day, Na agilely traveled to Accra, and Kojo didn't tell Ama. Ama found out from someone else. And her heart tightened painfully. Ama Frema wrote Kojo a letter she never planned to send. She sat by the riverside, the same place their love began, and poured her soul into words. "Kojo, my love. I don't know what tomorrow holds. But I know love is not smooth, love is not perfect, love is not gentle. It is a hard teacher. Love is beautifully ugly at times. And right now, it is very ugly. If the world gives you peace away from me, take it. If the world gives you joy without me, hold it. I don't want to be your shadow. I want to be your sun, but maybe these clouds won't move." Before she could fold the letter, Kojo called. "Ama," he said, tired, distracted. She swallowed her tears. "I wrote you a letter." "Oh, that's nice," he replied without emotion. Her heart cracked. He didn't ask what it said. He didn't ask why she sounded weak. He didn't ask if she was okay. Ama ended the call softly. "When love forgets to ask," she whispered, "love begins to fade." And for the first time, Ama Frema feared that Kojo was slipping away. Kojo's life in Accra began pulling him in different directions. Long hours. Meetings. Deadlines. And slowly, unknowingly, he drifted. He still loved Ama Frema, but love that isn't watered begins to echo instead of speak. One night, After missing her calls 3 times in 1 week, Kojo finally called back.
Ama, I'm sorry.
Work has been crazy.
Ama hesitated.
It's okay. But the truth was, it wasn't okay. Are you alright? Kojo asked half-heartedly.
Ama swallow it. I'm fine.
She wasn't. She had cried for hours before picking up. The voice she heard on the phone didn't sound like her Kojo anymore. He sounded distant, busy, changed. That night, Amma walked to the river again. The same place they both promised to fight for their love. The water whispered painfully around her ankles. Is love supposed to hurt this much? She asked the wind. The wind didn't answer, but her heart did. Rumors reached Adamasa quickly. Kojo was seen with Na Ajali in Accra, someone whispered. I heard she visited his apartment, another added. Amma Frema tried to ignore it, but the whispers grew louder. One afternoon, she overheard 2 market women say, Na is wearing a ring. They say it's from Kojo.
Eh.
Amma dropped the fruits she was carrying. Tears blurred her vision. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. That night, she confronted Kojo on the phone. Kojo, is Na in your life again?
No.
Amma, why would you say that? People are talking. People always talk, he snapped. Why don't you trust me? Her heart stung.
Ido.
But distance is making everything heavy. Kojo sighed deeply.
Amma, I'm tired.
Those 3 words shattered her. Not tired of work. Not tired of pressure. Tired of fighting. Tired of defending. Tired of the weight of loving her. Amma Frema sat on her bed, broken. Maybe love wasn't dying. Maybe it was calling for help. But she didn't know how to answer. Weeks passed before Kojo finally found Amma's unsent letter. Marabina had found it under her daughter's pillow and, knowing it needed to be heard, mailed it secretly to him. Kojo read the letter 3 times, each word hitting deeper than the last. I want to be your son, not your shadow. If peace lives away from me, I won't chase you. Love is beautifully ugly at times. And right now, it is very ugly. Kojo sat down on his bed and cried for the first time in years. Suddenly, he noticed what he'd been blind to. He had been waiting for Amma to hold on while he slowly let go. He grabbed his keys and rushed out, determined to fix what he broke. But fate had its own timing. As he boarded the bus to Adamasa, he received a message from Na. Amma collapsed again. Your mother took her to the clinic. Kojo's heart dropped into his stomach. He didn't wait for the bus to move. He jumped out and hired a taxi, one that sped through the night like the world was on fire. When Kojo reached the clinic, Amma Frema lay weak on a bed, her skin pale, her breath shallow. Marabina sat beside her, whispering prayers. Madame Asore stood outside the door, crying silently, something Kojo had never seen. He rushed in.
Amma.
Amma, please look at me. Her eyes fluttered open. You came, she whispered softly. I will always come, he choked out. I was stupid. I forgot what mattered. I forgot you. A tear slid down her cheek. Kojo, love shouldn't drown us.
No.
But I will learn to swim better, he said. Madame Asore entered, wiping her tears. Amma Frema, she began softly. I misjudged you. I judged poverty and not your heart. Forgive me.
Amma blink it slowly.
Auntie. I may have pushed my son into suffering by refusing the woman meant to give him joy. If you can forgive us, let us start again. Kojo held Amma's hand tightly. We can build this together, he whispered. Amma closed her eyes and breathed deeply. Love hurt, deeply, painfully, but it still lived. Weeks passed. Amma Frema recovered slowly. Kojo visited every day. Madame Asore brought food, sat beside her, and apologized again and again. Na finally left Adamasa for good, defeated by a love she could not break. One evening, under the mango tree where everything began, Kojo took Amma Frema's hand. Amma, he said gently, we've seen the beautiful parts of love. And we've seen the ugly ones too. Amma nodded, her eyes shining. And we survived both. Kojo smiled. Will you let me love you, in all the beautiful and ugly ways life brings? She rested her forehead on his chest. Yes, Kojo. Because real love is beautifully ugly at times. And that is what makes it real. Drums played faintly in the distance. The sky glowed gold as the sun dipped. A soft breeze brushed against them, as if blessing their union. They walked back to the village hand in hand. Not perfect. Not polished. Not fairy tale. But real. True. Tested. Enduring. And that kind of love is the most beautiful of all.